All right. Let me make sure my mic is on. Can you guys hear me? Thank you for watching, tuning in. This is John Wolfsby. Thank you for attending our event today. What I'm going to be discussing, of course, is our home buying process and just some information that most people have been having trouble with while they've been going through the home buying process. This is a live video show. It is streaming right now on Facebook and multiple areas. It's also streaming along in YouTube, so you can follow us on YouTube if you're on that stream with us as well. And so thanks for tuning in again. We're going to touch the home buying process, and this information is strictly for assistance support for those who are trying to buy their first home, buy their second home if they have already purchased before in the last few years. And this will give you a lot of insight on how to maneuver, what to expect, and overturning a bunch of challenges that may come up. So let's get straight into today's video. Thank you. So I'm gonna bring to the screen a few of our images here. And let me minimize myself. So first topic of the day and agenda, of course, guys, you got to have that decent credit score when you're entering into the home buying process. If you don't have that credit score, don't have the needed score that most vendors want you to have, it's gonna, be a hurdle that you gotta, maneuver around as well. So I'm putting now on the screen our buying chart. This buying chart right here is going to show you the different spectrums of what a lender is going to look for in the type of loans. So we're going to talk about the type of loans first, your criteria, whatever it may be, what you may qualify for. Go ahead and, look at this chart and see what you qualify for. There's different ones, to say by saying, hey, we got VA, we got USDA. Both of those loans right there are government-backed loans. Those loans come with zero down payment, and they're real easy and very beneficial for most people who qualify. VA loan, of course, is for veterans or veteran spouse, widowed, um, and those are the main two parameters for veterans. It has no limitations on where you use this at, but it must be for a residential type property, not commercial. Now, we also have USDA, which is a government loan as well. This is for rural areas only. You must have a minimum credit score of 580. I know it doesn't show it there, but you must have a minimum credit score of 580. So don't get confused by that there. Now, we also have now the FHA insured. It says FHA insured, which really is just saying an FHA loan. A FHA home loan is one of the best loans for credit stressed clients. Meaning, if your credit is not the best, your payment history is not the best, you can still get in with the FHA loan. It goes as low as 500 for some people, man. Like, the worse your credit score, the more you're gonna have to come out of pocket, but you can get approved for a home. Anything below a 580, as you see on the chart, you're gonna have to pay 10%. Anything above a 580, you can get 3.5% down when buying a home. Then we have the conventional home loan. These are for more of a tiered client, meaning your credit is a little bit better than the FHA clientele, or you just want to go ahead and go conventional. Conventional does have better loan proceedings. That's where it doesn't have that PMI. As you can see, it says no PMI. That is an extra premium payment that you have to do when you're buying for FHA. FHA home loans, they fall off at 78% once you pay that extra amount down on your loan. So PMI, it has a PMI loans, basically, or FHA, they have an extra amount that you're paying per month. That's going to fall off once you hit 78% of that loan paid off. And you have conventional that does not have a PMI. But that amount of which one is more per month, FHA versus conventional, you need to get with any lender to see what's going to benefit you and your need. Most time though, you want to have a 680 or better credit score when you're going for those type of loans. And then you see the two different type of conventionals. The one that says 680 plus and 620 to 679. One says 3% down, one says 5% down. So those are just right there off topic. Just on the main topic, those are the type of loans that we have. So once recap, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA. Now you're going to be wondering, okay, John, I don't have the money to go down, to pay all these different things. What can you do for me? What can you give me insights on today? And that's why we're here. We're going to go ahead and talk about your process in buying this home. So let's move the screens. So the process of buying a home, right? What you need to know. What's the biggest secrets in home buying? Well, all loan products have different criteria, as you just seen. But the best thing about it is you don't have to come up out of pocket for all that money, guys. Meaning, like, we have down payment assistance. We have home buyer courses now that give you, just credit for actually attending. Like, you all qualify. You all have the initial, aptitude to do this thing to, save yourself money. So as we go through the home buying process, let's talk about the process itself. The mortgage process. Decide to buy. Do you guys qualify? That is one of the biggest things that some clients don't even know. Like, do they qualify? How do I know if I qualify? Let's go ahead and say, bring it to the stage by looking at your credit. If you look at your credit score, right, you're going to see anything in the 3s all the way up to the 8s. Meaning, like, if you have a low 300 credit score or up to 580, that's considered poor. You're not going to be a tier 1 client who really should go for a home right then. Now, of course, you do qualify once you get to 580 and above. So coming in with a bare minimum credit score, Coming in with that bare minimum credit score of the 580 640, that's going to put you at the lower bracket, but you will qualify. So as we do this, what loans do I qualify for? What, interest rates do I qualify for? What, buying power do I have? All these things are going to change and vary all over the place, no matter where you are or who you go to lender wise. But if you can get between 640 and 700, most lenders will work with you and they will have an easier time dealing with you versus the lower half of the totem pole. So back to the buying chart. Decide to buy. You've already checked your credit, you done did what you needed to do, and now you decide to buy, right? So as we decide to buy, we see that we need to get pre-qualified for a home. I know the chart shows find a real estate agent, but there are so many real estate agents out here, that's one thing you're not going to really have to, problem doing. Finding the right real estate agent for you, that's a different subject. So I would always say, clients, check your credit, get pre-qualified, and then worry about finding your real estate agent. This is going to ensure that you have no issues when it comes to buying and wasting anyone's time. Today's market, a lot of real estate agents don't want to have someone that's not pre-qualified. Begin your house hunt once you have found your great real estate agent. That's the next step. That real estate agent is going to be someone who can help you, who can assist you, who's going to be, your friend. So make sure you guys are compatible and they're understanding your needs and what you're wanting in your home. And just to get a summary of what you can do, if you don't know exactly a good real estate agent or, where to find one at, you can go to Zillow, and I'll pull this up because I had already pre-searched it for you guys. You can go to Zillow and look at homes that might fit your criteria. Just like here on this screen, these are homes that's in a Dublin/Warner Robins area that I have already seen and looked at. My clients have all, they're in the Central Georgia area, some in Atlanta, some in South Georgia, some in Florida now when it comes to the home buying. But you guys can kind of find something on here yourself to get an understanding of what you like before you even go to a real estate agent. And that is Zillow.com. So now we have begun the home buying process and we know kind of what our budget is as far as what we think we can, afford. And I say think because sometimes things will come up during the lending process where you may conditionally qualify for $240,000 and the home that you're trying to get, for whatever reason, you don't quite qualify. So either you got to come with more money or find a cheaper home. So maybe it wasn't 240, maybe it was 230,000. So now you're looking for a $230,000 house, but could you qualify for that one? Sure. So finding the right house, make sure the lending criteria and everything checks out is very important because there's something called an earnest money deposit that you have to put down once you go into the home buying process. You can lose your home buying money, guys. You can lose your down payment. You can lose your inspection. You can lose your appraisal if you don't close on this home. So make sure you're doing everything initially safe for yourself. Okay. We're going to switch screens to show you a nice, beautiful home. So this home right here is a Central Georgia home. This is traditionally the normal type of homes that we fund and that we see a lot of clients want. That is more like a single or double car garage, a nice brick 2-story home, or anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 square feet. Make sure you're selecting your square feet. Make sure you're getting the garage if that's what you want initially. Get the things that's good for you. Don't, get something that's not going to be beneficial to you and your family. Okay. Now we have the homes that you guys are looking at, the things that you know that you want. So make sure, again, that you're not going to enter into this process not knowing what's going on. Right now, I have an income chart I'm going to go ahead and go over. So for a home, if you're making around $25,000 in today's market and you have $100 debt on your of liability, you're going to qualify usually for a home just around $105,000, and that's on the max end of the debt to income. So 105,000 is a person who makes around $25,000 in today's market. 8 years ago, that was a little bit different, but for today's market, for interest rate purposes, that is the amount of home that you'll be buying with a purchase monthly rate around $900 to $940. $35,000 income bracket, you're only going to qualify for around $155,000, and you're going to be paying around $1,300 per month. For a person making $45,000, we're looking at $210,000 home, around $1,700 per month. $55,000 annual income, you're looking at around $258,000 with a $2,185 a monthly mortgage. $65,000 income annually, you're looking around $300,000 to $310,000 home with a $2,600 a month payment on your mortgage. And these are all estimated at 7% for today's current market. So these are not exact factual numbers, but these are the estimated current market numbers based off income. Now, the portion that most everyone here is wondering about, that's what we're going to switch to. 1 second. For the initial down payment assistance, I'm going to go to it. So of course, credit matters, but for your down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers, once you get the certificate, your certificate will never expire, guys. You can do this today when you're 18, and then when you're 22, you finally want to buy a house, you will already have the certificate for your first-time home buyer course, and you will not have an issue getting that assistance for your first home. So doing the first-time home buyer, course is free with most vendors on their FHA. Some vendors do have a paid version that you have to pay for. But this education course will help you understand the guidelines of buying a home, making sure that you're not going into the situation blind. This can be found on the FHA website. You can enter in this course for free. If you want the direct link or more help on it, it may be at the bottom of this video also, or you can message me and I'll send a link to you. But that home buyer assistance, what it does, it comes in and helps you pay for that initial down payment. So the initial down payment is what you see here on the minimum down payment screen. As you can see, some of those limits, it says 3%, 5%, 20%, 10%. So for today's market, if you was to purchase a $240,000 home, you will be required to, on the FHA loan, usually pay that 0.035%. What that comes up to be is $8,400 on a $240,000 home. So if you don't have the $8,400 plus the closing costs, you might want to do the, like I said, first-time home buyer to kind of come in and help pay for that down payment. That's a good bit of change that you can save, $8,400. So keep in mind when you're going into your home buying process that you're getting with the right people that's going to support you and back you. Make sure your real estate agent, your lender, and even your financial advisor are doing everything for you. And if you're self-employed, guys, make sure your taxes are correct. Most lenders will go off 2 years of taxes, meaning if I have the median income for $40,000 and then $35,000 on one of my documents for my taxes, it's going to hit me in the middle, and it's only going to show that I make $37,500. That medium income will show my buying power for my lending. And in today's market, that will only qualify me for $155,000 to $160,000 home. Now, I say all this to say, if nothing else, get your first-time home buyer certificate. Let the possibility of that money that you make and use from the government support you, and then you can have an easier track when going through the home buying process. So again, that's just information, just something I wanted to put out today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you can get your dreams funded. I hope you do everything, of course, that you learned in this video. I will be putting out more information, of course, in videos. So thank you for tuning. This was a live stream. You can watch it later, be it on one of the social media platforms, be it my CEO Talk on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. Thank you again for tuning in. John Goolsby.